That's suspicious. That's weird.
Look out, Scoob. Oh wait, never mind.
AOL's DeeKnow, here we are with another video. Let's go!
Hey, what's good? It's DeeKnow, and we're back again with another video full of crazy clips from all over the world. Y'all know what it is, so let's hop right into it.
I'm going to show you. Right now this man is laying down on the street. He's a homeless man. I don't know if this man died or if he is astral projecting, but you are going to see his astral form in this video right now. I have done this myself personally. This is very real. You are not your body. You are your consciousness though, that is received into this body or avatar that's in this third dimensional reality. And if you ever consume or partake in psychedelics, you will understand how fictitious your realm is. Here's your proof. He's very close, and he looks back at himself, which is crazy work. You only know what you think you know. And the simple fact that he's wearing clothes that he was laying down in is crazy work. Still think you're going to hell, huh? Or heaven? Still believe that dogmatic religion, huh? I would do a little bit of research in past life regression. I would do a little bit of research in astral projection. Allegedly, if you are astral projecting and they cut your tether cord, that will end your life. I don't know how substantiated that claim is, but I was told that through a constituent. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this makes you look deeper into reality, or the lack thereof, especially for ones that are under dogmatic religion. Know yourself. You cannot be created nor destroyed. Hence the whole chicken versus the egg reference. What came first? First was the word, frequency and vibration. And after everything else, physical matter follows through empty space and subatomic particles. Peace to God.
I heard you're scared of clowns.
No.
I heard that.
Impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Because I'm a black man.
You can be
I
scared.
have so many other things to be fearful of. A clown is not going to scare me.
Really?
Yes. I'm not afraid of clowns.
But I heard that you were.
Okay, man.
Yeah, isn't it obvious? We've been going against the prompts. NPCs can't help themselves.
Ma'am, you believe in prompt theory?
Do I believe in it?
Wow.
I'm literally living it. The prompts made me buy this kayak. Can I prompt you to try these pickled sausages? Bulk discount makes everything taste better, honey.
Can't say no to that. Dude, I've been living the same day for years. Like bed, hear, samples, repeat. Same exact routine every single day. I'm definitely a prompt, man.
Excuse me, you believe in prompt theory?
We've been coming here every weekend since 1983.
Wait, that must be a prompt.
I've been telling everyone since the 80s. Now suddenly everyone's talking about it?
I unlocked the motherlode prompt. Of course I believe in it.
Bro, what if we're in a prompt right now and someone just prompted us to say this?
Yeah, right, dude.
We're definitely a prompt.
Listen, be very careful with prompt theory. It's not a joke, man. You could be in a prompt right now and not even know it.
You could be in a prompt right now and not even know it.
Dude. There are certain foods that I eat that I have to cut in small pieces, and pretty much I just swallow them whole, just like a snake does.
No, I'm sure you still get the nutrients.
Yeah. So it's taken some time to get used to it, a different way of eating. So, you know, there are different things that change in my life because of my transformation, and eating is one of them. The hearing is another part. Everything is much louder to me now.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, yeah. Like, and whenever fires, like sirens and things go by, I just want to cover my ears and say, make it stop, make it stop.
There's a lot of sirens in this.
Yeah, there is.
Well, alrighty then.
AI now making decisions in global diplomacy, could a machine actually trigger the next world war? If we're using DeepSeek, it very well might, but if we're using some of the other ones, we might actually see de-escalation if they're the ones in use. I think it also goes to show how far AI has come. If we are even considering the fact that we're trusting it with foreign policy and diplomacy issues, what can it do? You know, can it make decisions about business? Can it make decisions about companies? If we're trusting it to, at least testing it, to see if it can de-escalate and discuss peace talks.
Hey, it's Glamham. Many people tag me in this, and you know I have to be really careful about this stuff since this happened. So let's take a very careful look at the strange things that have been happening in the Gulf. May 2030, 3.1 magnitude earthquake struck just south of the Gulf Shores, Alabama, a region not known for high seismic activity. At the exact same time, weird weather radar, this bubbly kind of circles popping up. They don't look like regular thunderstorms, and people wondered, are they engineered or energetic? And then hovering over everything while all the action went down, the two balloons I have been monitoring for weeks, these James Bond super balloons, HBAL 728 and 717, hovering 60,000 feet up. You may think, well, surely weather and earthquakes aren't connected, but here's 3 ways that they are. Strange flashes or glows in the sky have been observed before or during earthquakes, seen by eyewitnesses, even captured on camera. Earthquakes can send acoustic or electromagnetic waves into the upper atmosphere, disrupting the ionosphere, which is the same layer we use for radio, GPS, satellites. Seismic activity can trigger electromagnetic emissions, which can appear on radar or interfere with local atmospheric sensors. So what are our fancy balloons doing up there all this time? Well, these floaty bad boys can capture data on undersea explosions or seismic tests. How convenient. They can test how energy moves between Earth and the sky, possibly for advanced communications or defense technology. And they can monitor undersea cables, military activity, submarines, geological shifts, all from 60,000 feet. These are not weather balloons, like I say. These These are used by DARPA, the Haley military missions. So was all of this a coincidence? The balloons, the radar, the earthquake? Or were they testing how the sky responds to an earthquake? Maybe. Probably not. I don't know. You didn't watch this video. Let me know what you think. We won't speak of this again.
Alright. Someone want to tell me why there's a freaking sword on the wall deep in this limestone mine beside the hole? Like, WTF, seriously? The fuck? Yeah, that's bizarre.
That's actually pretty cool.
Don't scroll, this shit getting crazy, y'all. These two Chinese nationals just got caught smuggling a biological pathogen into the US, y'all. And it's not just any pathogen, y'all. They said this junk can wipe out entire wheat and corn supply, y'all. Like, I'm talking about gone.
Two Chinese nationals have been charged with smuggling a dangerous biological pathogen into the United States. And this pathogen is considered a serious threat to our food supply and thus our national security.
This wasn't no accident, y'all. The FBI is calling it agro-terrorism. They saying they brung this shit over to fuck up our food system. One of the suspects is a researcher at the University of Michigan. And the other one, y'all, that's her boyfriend. They said this man was coming from China. He had the shit in his book bag. And the TSA officers caught that shit. And the crazy thing about this fungus, it don't just kill plants, y'all. This junk can also create toxins that's deadly for animals and humans. This shit sounds like The Last of Us, right? So now the DOJ, the FBI, and even Homeland Security are coming together on this, because you never know. What if they already smuggled some shit in? This shit crazy.
I don't even want to know, because if it's here, it's here, and it ain't gonna be good either way. Look at the world. Yeah, a couple of those were definitely AI, but most of them were real. And they were really cool looking.
Can someone please explain to me what the f is going on with my TV? Like, this is not blended. Oh my god, what the f? Hold on. Stop! Oh my god. Oh my god. What the f? What the f? Are we serious right now?
Weird.
Oh my god! I just on camera.
I just can't believe that y'all thought it was going to be a good idea to try and pull that down the road like that. Put it on a trailer, man.
I'll point out that there's only 48 active astronauts worldwide out of almost 8 billion people. And this gentleman here says we can only send a handful of astronauts to space at a time. Who is we? That's my first question. My next question is, if we're just a speck of dust in this infinite amount of space that is ever expanding, why is there no industry for it? Why is there only a handful of astronauts going to space? I'd imagine it's because a handful of people can keep a secret much better than millions of people could. You know, everything that has anything to do with space has been debunked and is currently being debunked every single day. No one's ever stepped foot on the moon. And if you believe that they did, I don't know whether to feel sorry for you or to feel sorry for myself because I didn't have such a great childhood to where I'm still believing in fairy tales. Satellites, they are attached to helium-filled balloons and they are within our firmament. This is a fact. Find me a picture of a satellite orbiting our, quote, planet. There are allegedly 6,500 of them up there. You mean to tell me one satellite can't show you the others? Come on, make it make sense. Then people are going to get in the comments and say, space is dark, you know, they can't take pictures of. Dude, look at the ISS footage. Pretty bright up there if you ask me. None of it makes sense. But you're not looking at it critically because you've been indoctrinated to accept a set of beliefs. That's what indoctrination is. And after you accept these set of beliefs, it becomes your religion. No different than Hinduism, Catholicism, atheism. And just like with any religion, you get upset with others when they present information that doesn't coincide with your belief system. My guy, you're working on blind faith. I'll bet it all right now you've never been to space. You've never been up high enough to look down and see what you've been living on. We were all born into a wildlife preserve for humans. You see, your brain can only go as far as the information it carries, and nobody informed you on what this place really is. Some of us have eyes to see it and some of us don't. When all you have to do is follow the clues, follow the money. This hierarchy society that we live in is based on monetary gain. If space was a real place, there would be an industry for it. There would be people capitalizing on space. They would be selling tickets to space for $25,000 a pop. They'll take you up far enough to where you can experience weightlessness and you can look down and see that you live on a globe. The same way they show you the Grand Canyon via helicopter. Space would be a tourist attraction, but it's not, because it can't be. Space ain't a real place, my guy.
What the fuck is that, bruh? What?
So that I can bring forward my life. I accept the sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I accept the sacrifice.
I-G-I-V-E.
Wait.
I'm just spelling first. I-G-I-V-E. Y-O-U.
Y-O-U.
A-L-L.
A-L-L.
O-F.
O-F.
Yeah, M-Y.
M-Y.
D-E-M-O-N-S.
Wait, what? Oh, D-E.
D.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so you don't crack it or what?
NASA is like 1000% a satanic organization, and what I'm going to share with you is honestly going to blow your mind. When you're researching the occult origins of NASA, you're going to find this wild blend of Disney, Freemasonry, Nazi intelligence, and Satanism. Walt Disney played a massive role in brainwashing the masses into believing in space travel. And Jack Parsons, founder of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories, was a sex magic-obsessed dark occultist, heavily into Satanism. He was deeply connected with the infamous occultist Aleister Crowley, also known as the most wickedest man alive or the Great Beast. Now, this is nothing you'll get from a NASA press release or any textbooks. However, none of this is myth, but documented historical facts. So let's break it down into two parts now about Jack Parsons, because this guy was completely erased from not only history as a whole, but NASA entirely. In a sense, he is the real founder of the American space program. He wasn't just a rocket engineer, but a Thelemite occultist, a devoted student of Aleister Crowley and a high-ranking member of Crowley's organization, the OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis, which was, honestly, one of the most satanic groups of the last century. Now, for those that don't know who Crowley is, this is a very dark figure who has left their fingerprints on everything in our modern-day culture, from the music industry to Hollywood, and of course the very space program of NASA. Now Parsons was named the chosen successor of Crowley and literally declared himself the Antichrist, running sex magic cults, performing arcane rituals and ceremonies to summon spirits. He'd also partner with the likes of L. Ron Hubbard, notorious sci-fi author and founder of the religious cult of Scientology. Yes, the one that Tom Cruise and all those celebrities follow. And they would later conduct these rituals and had a weird sex triangle between each other and some lady friends. In short, Parsons was obsessed with many things. But more importantly was getting rocketry into space, which he saw as very spiritual in accordance to his occult beliefs. He'd later die in a mysterious explosion and be completely omitted from the historical origins of NASA. However, they'd still honor his role in their ritualistic conception by naming a moon crater after him and naming their rockets after pagan gods, Apollo, Artemis, Saturn, and so on. All right, so let's get into Walt Disney and the Nazis' role. So after World War II, which was a false event manufactured by the elite to reset the world order, the US would launch Operation Paperclip, a secret program smuggling in thousands of Nazi scientists. Their war crimes would not only be erased, but they'd be rewarded into high-ranking positions into US government-sanctioned programs such as NASA. That's something you don't learn in school. So enter Werner von Braun, top Nazi rocket engineer under Hitler himself, suddenly rebranded as America's golden boy space pioneer. What does Werner von Braun do, right? He partners with Walt Disney, the man shaping the imagination of entire generations and future generations to come, and sell the idea of space travel. Now, before this propaganda campaign, the average person didn't even fathom the idea of space travel. They would use cartoons and documentaries to create their script for a new religion, space worship. And then this would create future propaganda films such as Star Trek, A Space Odyssey, Star Wars, Marvel, all the same propaganda to reinforce the same lie that you are a cosmic accident, Earth is meaningless, and space is your new god. Funny enough, Werner von Braun's cemetery is actually in the city I grew up in. And it's interesting, he has a specific verse on his tombstone. Psalms 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Yeah, there's nothing to see there, I'm sure. Look, the truth is always hidden in plain sight for those with eyes to see, folks. And once you realize that space travel, and NASA itself, was born from black magicians, high-level occultists, Nazis and Freemasons sworn to secret oaths, you start to see what this is really all about, to disconnect man from God. And when you go deep enough down that rabbit hole and start to pull the thread on all these secretive Masonic orators and Kabbalistic cartels, you find that same goal. It is imperative to their power structure that we, the people, be deceived and never learn the truth about the current deception taking place, which is obviously contrary to the laws of nature and the Most High. To them, the masses must be deceived with every facet of reality, starting with the very ground they walk upon. You can lead a sheep to water, but you can't make it think. This message is for entertainment purposes.
For entertainment purposes only. What do y'all think about that? I think most of it's pretty accurate. Alright, so this guy does this for like a shock value prank in public. He like wraps himself up in saran wrap and stuff and then goes and lays in weird places and freaks people out. I don't know.
He said the bartender slipped him a note and said don't leave with her. She came on to him and then vanished. Listen and then I'm going to respond.
The bartender slipped me a note. Don't leave with her. So she walked into this little bar I was in, and she walked in, you know, real smooth, like she was like a part of the band or something. Not too flashy, but just like present. Like when she walked into the room, the whole room just like stopped. Like you could just kind of feel a slight, you know, silence, undertone, like people knew she was there. So she kind of walked up to me and she ordered me a drink, you know, before I even introduced myself. And she said, you know, I like your energy, you know, so I'm like, okay. She told me my face looked like it told stories. So I kind of laughed it off, you know, I'm like, okay, you know, whatever that means. So then she reached and touched my birthmark and she whispered, I like the broken parts. I mean, I don't know what that means. Like, I'm glad I got a free drink and she looked good. So I'm like, okay, you know, that's cool. So we talking for like an hour, y'all. Like nothing deep, just like, you know, little flirting, low tones, you know, kind of vibes, you know, kind of conversation that make you forget where you parked at. So then I got up to go order a second drink. So the bartender slid me a glass, but he slid me like a little napkin with the glass, but it was like kind of folded up. He ain't say nothing. He just kind of like nodded at me. I'm like, okay. So I unfolded it and I read it and it said, don't leave with her. You're not the first. I'm like, what? Not the first? I'm too faded for this. First of all, like, so I don't even know what you're talking about right now. So I'm like, okay, I guess. So I turned back and the bartender was gone. Like, not in the back, not serving anymore. Like, he was just gone. So I turned around to the table and she was gone too. And the drink was there though. And it's still like, you know, dripping, like sweating on the table. So this lady comes from the back, whatever. She asked me, is like, okay. And I'm like, you know, I'm looking for my friend. And she was like, your friend, and we kind of going back and forth. And she was kind of looking at me like, she don't know what I'm talking about. So she was like, come look at this. She showed me the security camera, and I was sitting there by myself all night.
Now, his name is Ladies Love Replay on TikTok, but I do believe this was a short story, fiction based on his page. But even in the short story, it displays a powerful truth. Proverbs 7 tells us of a similar woman. She says, let's slide to my place, spend the night drinking love like wine. Ain't nobody home, my man out of town with a bag. He took a long trip and won't be back till payday. She talked sweet to him, smooth like honey, got him caught up. He followed her like a little pup walking straight into a trap. Her crib is a hallway to the graveyard, and her vagina is a portal to hell. Men, be very careful to avoid women like this. And women avoid men with the same energy. Strong lust spirits. This was from the Hood Bible translation, Proverbs. It contains the KJV, as well as the paraphrase you just heard for those that can't understand the KJV. You could get yours here at ironiclearning.com.
You said the Hood Bible translation.
What if I was to tell you that one of the companies in Washington that attorney set up is a medical coding research company? What if I told you Obamacare was set up for one reason and one reason only, and that's to traffic children? Obamacare. It's the only reason it was set up. What if I told you that they invested so much money, they built 3 supercomputers in the university in Austin, Texas, that a mother can go to her gynecologist, find out that she's pregnant, and the moment he puts in the code, the child traffickers are following that mother, their pregnancy. They know whether she's going to get an abortion, whether she has a live birth. They follow the kid through the first few years of school. They know if it's got blonde hair, blue eyes, or red hair, green eyes, or whatever. And what if they got blood type, DNA, all your medical records? Obamacare coding system removed doctor-patient confidentiality from the United States and the world. Don't think it just happened here. It happened all over the world in every United Nations country when that was passed. We started it. So, it's a 5-digit coding system with over 80,000 codes. We call it medical kidnapping in this country. If I have parents that have walked into Phoenix Children's Hospital, and they can be up there with talking to their doctor. Their doctor writes stuff down in his notes. He hands it to the medical coding expert in his office. She takes it, she puts it in the computer. CPS and the Superior Court of Arizona leases space in the basement of the hospital. A red flag pops up on the CPS agent's computer down there. She has every medical record, the home address, the parent's name, everything. She can cut, paste, put it on her documents, an order to remove, walk it next door to the judge, have him sign it, get in the elevator, be upstairs within 5 minutes taking the child. Whatever they want to think of. Yeah. They do. Every hospital. The courts and CPS, every major hospital in the United States, they lease space. But let me tell you something, I'll tell you what they've told me. They told me all the evidence that we've turned in the last 3 years, it could take the military as long as 10 years just to take care of it.
That is insane. Soul Calibur 12.
Just because he's a surfer doesn't mean he's fucking stupid. Listen to this.
You were explaining nose breathing to me out there.
Yeah.
How nose breathing is better?
Better for you.
Because of?
Well, first of all, you were designed to breathe. Your sinuses and your nose were designed for breathing. And so you actually emit a gas in your sinuses. From my understanding, a gas called nitric oxide, which is a vasodilator. It helps you absorb oxygen. I mean, you know from the fight game, as soon as a guy goes to mouth breathing, you're like, he's toast. You know that, right? That's your first giveaway. I mean, everybody should be breathing through their nose in their sleep, walking around. I mean, we somehow we became mouth breathers in the last 200 years, and they're not sure why.
Now focus, because isn't that exactly what the breathing expert James Nestor said? And no one gave a shit. Listen to this.
So air comes through your mouth, air comes through your nose. What is the difference between the air coming through your nose?
So your nose, if you were to take your fist and imagine just pushing it inside of your head, that's about the volume of your nose and all the sinus cavities. So they even stretch up above your eyes. So
the volume of your fist, that's crazy.
They call it the nasal concha because it looks exactly like a seashell. If you were to split a seashell in half and look at it, that's what's happening in your nose. And all of this stuff evolved this way for a reason. So that air that comes in through the nose is slowed down, it's filtered, it's humidified, and it's conditioned. So by the time it gets to your lungs can absorb that oxygen so much easier. If you're not breathing right, you're never really going to be healthy. We know that to be the truth.
I've struggled with chronic congestion, snoring, sleep apnea, deviated septum. If there was a nose breathing problem, I had it. I suffered from terrible health. Then when my buddies showed me this episode of Shark Tank, and they tried something that changed my life.
There's a base of menthol and peppermint in all of them.
Woo! Woo!
There you go.
Yes, that's really good. It's really quite a hit.
It enhances your breathing for sure. It does open you up.
Wow!
What they were trying were boom booms. What they have is a patented blend of menthol and essential oils. And all you do is take a hit in each nostril. And instantly your nasals are completely cleared. All those years I struggled with those conditions are now a thing of the past.
Okay, man.
If the moon landing is real, then why can't we see any stars in the photos and videos? Conspiracy theorists claim that the recordings were made in a studio. But what's the truth behind this claim? First of all, you should know that the moon has no atmosphere. That means you have a fantastic view of the starry sky. So shouldn't we be able to see stars in the footage? The problem is that it was always daytime when the astronauts were on the moon. The lunar surface, the lander, and the astronauts were illuminated so brightly by the sun that the faint light of the stars was overwhelmed. Additionally, the cameras used had relatively short exposure times to capture clear images. Okay, that also makes sense. But why does the flag appear to be waving in the video recordings if the moon has no atmosphere, and therefore it shouldn't be able to wave? Follow to find out tomorrow and not miss the answer.
Follow to find out tomorrow and not miss the answer.
What are the chances that this matched up with the flood perfectly? Come right back to it. When you see what I've found, there'll be no doubt.
No doubt of what?
Exactly. again. So while the country is celebrating right now, we have 20 girls still missing from Camp Mystic and 25 people who have all died from the floods. They are saying that by 2 a.m. tonight, the flood is going to be at 45 to 60 foot from 3 foot. Obviously, the river. So I showed you earlier how this hurricane formation stood over Texas right here for 12 to 18 hours, right? Well, look at this right here. This is the Schumann frequency, the Earth's resonance. And it's never been like this before. Neither me nor anyone I know who's been watching the Schumann resonance for years upon years upon years have ever seen this pattern before. So I'm trying to get a quick answer. I'm like, Grok, when did this major flooding start? 3 a.m. July 4th, 1 a.m. to 3 p.m. The first time this has ever showed up. So what could affect the Schumann frequency? I don't know. Frequencies? And oddly enough, when Western NC was going on, I remember a discrepancy with the Schumann frequency then as well. Remember, it didn't move for 20 hours? Quarter of a whole year's all rain dumped within a 10-hour period. And here's all the information available for the 20 girls that are still missing. Save it, bookmark it, whatever. And pray.
11 p.m. to 4. Yeah, it was 11 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Square Enix calls Clear Obscure's Expedition 33's success and inspiration for the next Final Fantasy.
Yeah, he said my mom. I guess it was pretty cool. SpaceX doing some wild stuff. We got one more.
Mark, did you ever go to school and have those thermos? You know what I'm talking about? A thermos? Thermals. No, a thermos. Thermals. No, a thermos.
XQC.
Is that like a water bottle?
Come on, man.
No, it's a thermos. You've had those, I'm sure. The logo is kind of like it's kind of like a trapezius.
Describe a trapezius.
Okay, so it's a square, but it's like if you pushed it and it went sideways.
Like a diamond.
No, but then turn it 45 degrees to the right.
A trapezoid.
Yeah, trapezoid. Wait, it's not trapezius.
Is that what a thermos is?
No, the logo looks like a trapezius.
Okay, and what is a thermos? Like, what is the object it does?
It keeps your soup hot.
Oh man, I love the internet, man. It is a really, really great time.
Yeah, it's a really great time. I love the internet too, and that's pretty wild, right? Alrighty, well, that's all we've got for today, everybody. I hope you had a good time chilling, watching these videos. I had a pretty good time hanging out and watching these videos. Thank you again for all the continued support. Thanks for all the likes, the subscriptions, all the new people around here. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe. Make our community larger. Let's get this YouTube algorithm rolling. We do have a Discord now. There's not really anyone in there because it still needs some work, but it's there, and it's always going to be linked down in the description. So again, I appreciate everybody for chilling. I appreciate every one of you who comes through every time I post one of these videos and all the shares that you do. And yeah, I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, whatever it might be for you. And until next time, peace.